All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today, so let's get straight into it. The first story, Patrick Moore posted a physique update on his Instagram page, and we're getting close now to some of the upcoming shows in bodybuilding. You've got the New York Pro coming up, the Boston Pro coming up, the Cali Pro coming up. The nearest of those being the New York Pro, and we're going to get to that in a minute. So the New York Pro was originally scheduled for August 8th. So it got postponed to August 8th, and now it's been pushed back to September 5th. We're going to get to that in a minute, though. We're talking about the Patrick Moore physique update here. So we know that Patrick was debating on competing at the Tampa Pro this past weekend. So if he waits until a show like the New York Pro, the Tampa Pro is this past weekend, the New York Pro being September 5th, that gives him almost a full 4 more weeks of prep. So in my opinion, I think we would see him sooner rather than later. The Boston Pro, I think we're still like 8 weeks out from that. So right now, I think we're roughly 4-ish weeks away from the New York Pro. So I think we're going to see Patrick at a show like that. And getting back to the physique update that he posted, he obviously looks like he's in pretty good shape. He felt that he was in good enough shape to compete in Tampa this past week, but he felt like he would be more around 80% rather than 100. And he said after his Arnold Classic showing, he really wants to nail the package that he puts together for his next show. So I am excited to see Patrick compete again. At this time right now, he is not qualified for the 2020 Mr. Olympia, and I'll have to double check, but I don't even think he's really in the running as far as the point standings go. So yeah, just double check. There's 20 guys total on the list of the point standings, and Patrick isn't even on that point standing list, so he needs to acquire some points ASAP if he wants to get to the Olympia in December. And I think right now, a lot of American bodybuilders want to get to that Olympia in December because this running theory that international bodybuilders might not be able to compete could mean some top 6 prize money for some guys that otherwise wouldn't be cracking that top 6. So some of these American bodybuilders need to step it up and start doing some of these shows if they want to get to the Olympia. So I think you're either going to see Patrick at New York or in Cali. Keep in mind, the Cali Pro, I believe, was Patrick's first pro win ever, which qualified him for then the 2019 Mr. Olympia back then. So I think that would probably be a good nostalgic show for Patrick to revisit. I think that's only a week after the New York Pro. Let me check here. Cali Pro 9/12. Yeah, so that's a week after the New York Pro. I could see him doing maybe both of those shows if he didn't win in New York. But let's get to that story here. The New York Pro. This one I find to be extremely fascinating. So the New York Pro is actually going to be moved from where it was originally going to be held in Teaneck, New Jersey, which is relatively close to New York, hence why it's called the New York Pro. But this is a really random decision, and the New York Pro is being moved to Tampa, Florida, where the Tampa Pro was just held. Now, this is really interesting to me. So they really didn't give a whole lot of reason as to why or much more additional information. I know that Steve Weinberger put out a video, but essentially what he said there will be a live stream, which again, I want to commend every single promoter that makes the decision to put up a live feed for their show. This is what everybody has been wanting. The entire bodybuilding community, the majority of it, the vast majority of it, is online. And for a very long time, the Arnold Classic and the Olympia were like the only accessible live streams that we had. And now the Tampa did it, and now New York is doing it. And I just want to say, first and foremost, hats off to every single promoter that is making that decision to make a live stream. I really, really appreciate that. I think all the bodybuilding fans appreciate that. I think we've all been saying this for a long time, that this is what we want to see, is to be able to access shows online. So on behalf of myself and the rest of the bodybuilding community, thank you for making these shows available on live stream. In fact, if you like the idea of bodybuilding shows being live streamed, comment in the comment section below. Let us know. Let the promoters know. Let the NPC, the IFBB know. I'm sure they're watching this video. So comment in the comment section below about your thoughts on the live stream. I think it's a fantastic thing. But anyway, they don't really give a whole lot of reasoning as to why. My guess is because the governor in Florida really doesn't seem to care that much, and he's letting a lot of events and a lot of things still happen despite the numbers that we're seeing in Florida. So I don't know. I'm not going to judge the decision. I'm just happy that the show will still go on, and that is the most important thing, is that the show still happens, and we still get a bodybuilding live stream for all of us, the fans, to watch. I am going to roll that video for you guys today that Steve Weinberger actually put out, just so you guys can see what he says. He doesn't say a whole lot, but I will roll it just so you can see that I'm not just making this up.
Hi everyone, Steve Weinberger here with news about the New York Pro. This year we're moving into Tampa on September 5th, the same date we were going to have it. And it's going to be a live feed. Hope you guys can make it down. If not, watch the live feed. For any other questions or information, go to mpcnewsonline.com. Hope to see you all there.
Now, next up in the news, Phil Heath. And we rarely talk about Phil Heath on this channel, but this is the kind of speculation that I thoroughly enjoy. Cryptic posts like this from Phil Heath. So, first of all, you got to look at the picture. Who's in this picture? Ronnie Coleman, Lee Haney, and Phil Heath. Phil Heath, 7 Mr. Olympia titles to his name. Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney both have 8. The record Mr. Olympia titles. Phil Heath almost got 8 back in 2018. He almost joined that club. And in that case, this picture would have been a lot different. This would have been the three-way tie, basically, for the most Olympia records. So he talks about in this post, and I'm not going to read the whole post because it's very long, but he talks about in this post how Ronnie and Lee both inspired him and the impact that they left on him, and just how much he looks up to these two guys, and how much he wants to follow in their footsteps. And he basically goes on to say that he encourages all of you to level up, and he puts level up in quotation marks, which I think is a reference to him leveling up the number of sandals that he has on his mantle. And he then goes on to say, pushing through every barrier possible to become that version of yourself you've always dreamed of. Have an amazing day, because the future is bright for those who see past the darkness. Then he ends the post with a winky face. Now, I'm not saying Phil's going to come back, but I'm saying Phil's going to come back. He's going to compete for 8. Who knows if it's going to be in 2020 or 2021. My bet would be it's not going to be 2020, but I do think we're going to see Phil Heath come back at some point. I just don't see him leaving that 8th Olympia on the table. Brandon Curry is a great Mr. Olympia, but let's be honest. Phil Heath comes back. You've got Phil versus Brandon. You're telling me Phil is not going to take number 8. Me and Phil have definitely disagreed on a personal level, but on a bodybuilding level, Phil is one of the best of all time. And if he gets 8, I think a lot of people would agree, or a lot of people would at least make the argument that he's one of the most complete bodybuilders to ever do it. Now, one other thing on the Phil Heath topic I want to talk about here. Danny Garcia, who is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's ex-wife and current business partner, and also the current co-promoter and co-owner of Athleticon, posted a story tagging Phil Heath and saying tomorrow is going to be fun, reposting one of Phil Heath's posts that says greatness is calling. So the other question is, what could this be about? Could this be Phil Heath's announcement that we're going to see him at Athleticon? Could this be his commitment to competing at Athleticon? I guess we'll find out soon. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you guys think is going on with this? It's kind of weird, to be honest. Now, next up in the news, this is kind of a weird one, but I wanted to include the rapper Action Bronson in this video. So Action Bronson obviously was a pretty heavy guy. He still is kind of a heavy guy at this point, but he was known for being a pretty big dude. And he put up a post on Instagram lately saying that he's lost a total of 90 pounds. And he's really been working out. You've been seeing all these workout clips on his Instagram. He's really been going hard, and I wanted to mention him in this video because he's got a lot of songs referencing bodybuilding. He's got a song that references Dorian Yates. Look it up. One of his most recent music videos is actually, he takes a video of like a 90s World's Strongest Man, like VHS of that show, where he has his face superimposed on top of one of the strongman competitors. So he's like always been making references to different strength sports and bodybuilding. So it looks like he's always kind of followed it to some extent. And he's made these references in a song, so I wanted to include him in this video. He's down 90 pounds, and I think that deserves kind of a pat on the back. So if you guys haven't heard it, look up that song. Look up Action Bronson, Dorian Yates lyric. Thank me later. Actually, thank me right now in the comment section below. And thank me right now and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already, because that is what I need you guys to do to get to 1 million. Now, the final story I want to talk about here, Larry Wheels. But not just Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels and Devon Larratt, world champion arm wrestler. Larry is having Devon out there in Dubai train him for arm wrestling. Now, this is something that Larry's been pursuing, and you guys know Larry. He's a jack of all trades, master of most of them. Bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, arm wrestling, strict curl. Larry does it all, and he takes all these extra steps to become the best. And in the recent video he posted with Devon, who is one of the best arm wrestlers of all time, if not the best, he seems to give Devon a run for his money. And in his YouTube video, Devon basically co-signs how strong Larry is. And basically says if he gets his technique down, he's got the strength to be one of the top guys in arm wrestling. But the question is, do you think he can pin Devon Larratt in a real arm wrestling match? These clips that are on Larry's channel, he's just teaching Larry technique. These aren't real matches. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you did in fact enjoy it. Subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. We're on the road to 1 million. And I'm fast tracking it, baby. 2 videos a day. Thumbs up if you're enjoying that. Comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.